Greetings and namaste. I'm Sydney Solis, the Queen of Bohemia, and this is the Mythic Yoga Studio, which is wherever you are. It's the home of Storytime Yoga and Sleepytime Yoga for kids. Welcome. But first, a story, naturally. Nasruddin went to the town square and he nailed a sign to the wall which read, "Whomever has stolen my donkey, please give it back, so that I may give it to them." Well, the people said, "Why would you put up such a sign like that, Nasruddin?" And Nasruddin said, "There are two things in life that are so wonderful. One is finding something that you love that you had lost, and the second is giving that which you love away." So I invite you to find, again, the ancient art of oral storytelling, which has been lost, and to give it away to children to increase their imagination, put them in their bodies, and find peace in their heart with stories and yoga. You can become a storyteller using your own voice to educate children with yoga and story with our Storytime Yoga materials and our Storytime Yoga for Kids Yoga Story Kits. They're a whole pile of fun, good old-fashioned fun that we could save civilization with in this age of automation and overly intellectualizing things. We want to learn with our bodies, body-centered education. As we listen deeply to stories, children can hear and make pictures in their heads, not externally in a book, but they're going to hear the stories of once upon a time there was a man who said, "I have the most beautiful heart." They see those images in their minds and create original thinking, and they create an inner life. Hearing those stories pitches them out of ordinary time into timelessness and spaceless. There's no time and space when you hear a story. You're pitched out into a new realm of eternity where yoga takes us to. We want kids to experience that yoga during the listening, which develops concentration and focus. Kids also identify with those heroes, and the narrative helps them to begin to learn beginning, middle, and end. And all that imaginative play, they say, is essential for learning, for without it, kids can have learning disabilities. So let's go back to oral. Oral is primary. You are your child's first teacher. Maybe you teach kids in school or the library. So I invite you to take a look at our materials. How we use the most beautiful heart. This is the downloadable guide, parent-teacher guide. It includes, how to tell the story, and it includes the yoga asana, scripted yoga asana. And of course, the big part is that you are the storyteller, and we have vocabulary cards that you can print out and discuss any big words with your child. The learning, education is really not that complicated. Kids love to learn. And then you print out the pictures. This is the most beautiful heart. I recently told again. You can, instead of having a book, you are still connecting directly to the child and pointing to things. We're developing the oral. Pointing to who's this? What happens in the story? What happens next? Because I like to tell the story first in its entirety so that children have that deep listening. But when you reenact the yoga, you can help remind the youngest children about the story and help them visualize. What happened? You point the pictures. Who was this? What happened in the story? And what happened next? Take a yoga pose, your heart. And after the class, you can read along the story at night or later. Children, I have an audio that goes with it. They can either just listen again to get those pictures, original pictures in their head, or to read along with the story. My daughter always learned very well auditory listening and reading along with the story. Of course, I've just laminated these that I print out. I like laminating things. I'm an artsy craftsy type of person, but you don't have to. I have used just things on cardboard to set them up and have the text on the back. And my other favorite way to do it That was the traditional kamishibai, which is Japanese storytelling, traditional storytelling using cards. And then we also have a storytelling scroll, which is the East Indian way of telling stories. Again, you roll the pictures down. What happened here? What happened next? And you tell the story. Do the yoga poses after you heard the oral story first, and you keep rolling it down. Who is that character? There's the baby, Raven, and there's the son he let out of the bag. So these also make wonderful wall hangings for your classroom or a child's bedroom or library inside your house, right? So there's so many wonderful creative things when we go back to the old-fashioned cut and paste printing, low tech. Use your voice, get creative. Follow-up exercises are included in each ebook. And everything is meant to inspire you. The creativity that will come forth when you start expressing yourself with your voice and listening to the old stories, listening to the myths, and having a depth to our life, because that's where everything bubbles up, and we've been cut off from our depths. Only the intellect, only thinking and testing and shoving knowledge. But Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge, and the depths is where that imagination comes from. So we want to relink children to their inner lives with those images we create through our words, through our voices, through the stories, that beginning, middle, and end, that playful way of telling stories and acting it out with yoga. I invite you to go on that journey with me. Maybe you want to take a training and study mythic yoga, which is for teens, and for you to have your own adventure into your story and personal myth, the story that's in your body. Reconnect to all the ancient myths. Join the League of Yogic Storytellers to receive my premium content, children's yoga business practices, and to network with other storytelling yoga teachers around the world. There's so many things to discover in the labyrinth, the little lotus labyrinth online. So join me, rediscover that ancient lost art of oral storytelling and put it in the body and give it to children, our greatest gift. Namaste, and have a magical day.